Hello friends, welcome to Coding Shiksha. So today in this tutorial I will be telling you that how to make the form validation application in React. So this is a demo of this application. We have got two input fields, the email and password, and a button. So if I click this button without entering the details here, I will get a error message that is email field is required and no password provided. So if I enter the password here, let's suppose Gautam @email.com, so you can see that it is not a valid email, so it is providing me the error that email must be a valid email. So let me just write a valid email, so you can see that the error vanishes. Same goes with the password. So now if I enter some password here, password is too short, should be 8 characters minimum. And also if I have the passwords doesn't contain a number, it also shows me the message that password should contain a number. So if I enter a number, you can see that the error message gone. And now if I press the login button and go to the inspect element and console, then I will see that a object is returned to me, that is email and password. Same details have been passed here. You can see that Gautam @email.com and password. So now you can just use these details according to your application, whatever that you want to do with your application. So for this specific purpose I am using two dependencies. First is this Formik dependency. Just go to npm here, node package manager. This is a very famous dependency in order to get the form data, and it also have some methods, that is on change, on blur. All these events are pre-attached in this dependency. So just first of all install this dependency by executing this command, that is npm I formik. And the second dependency that we will be using is the yup dependency. So basically this attaches the form validation properties to the form, so such that you need to be having the email, password, all this stuff is available in this library. So just install npm I yup. So simple command is there. So I have already installed these two dependencies, so I will not be going and installing this dependency. So just write the command npm I for both the dependency. So I have already created a new project in React, so I will be deleting this validate login form file and creating it from scratch. So just create a new React application by going to command line and writing create React app, and rest of the process you know, and you will be getting the app.js file. So this will be the starting point of our application, and we will be starting from scratch. So I will be deleting all the code from it. So deleting all the code, so you will see that it will, let me just refresh the application, and there is nothing present here. So we need to import React here. So first of all I will import React, and we don't need the component, so we only need React. After that we will be making this application by using functional components, not class components. So we will not be using this syntax, so we will be using functional components, which is function app. So inside this we will return, let's suppose, a div which is hello world, and we need to export this. So export default app. So now if I refresh the application, you will see that it will be printing out hello world. You can see that this is an app component here. So we need to create another component for the login form. So just go to source directory here, create a new file. Let's suppose I create this file as validated login form. You can just write anything of your choice, but I will be following this convention. So this is a new file, this is a new component. First of all import React, and we will be deleting this component from here. So after that we will be making this component of functional component. So I will write here const. I will be storing it in a constant variable. So this is basically a convention in order to create our component. So we will be writing the name of the component. So in this case the name is validate, same as the file name, validated login form. So this expects some arguments, so this is parentheses, and this is arrow function. So inside another parentheses we will be we will be writing anything that we want to pass. So a simple div tag, this is a validation login component, I will write here just let to see that it is working or not. Lastly, we need to export it, export default validated login form. Now in the app.js we just need to include it. So instead of this static text, we will be including the validated login form. So automatically my dependency have been added here. You can see that import validated login form from / validated login form. So you can see that it is printing out this message which is there in the component. So now in this we will be having our form here, that is a Formik form. So first of all we need to import the dependency that we have installed here. First of all, the Formik dependency. So import, we will be using the destructuring operator here. So we will be extracting the Formik from the dependency name. So I will write here from Formik, and similarly we will be getting import star as from, and the dependency we will be making a alias operator here. So I will give this name here from yup. That's it guys. So these are two dependency. After installing it, just import it in your component. Now in this div tag I will delete this text here. So inside this we need to have our Formik tag. So I can just also delete this div tag. Instead I can just have my Formik form here. So Formik, this is a tag here. You can see that inside this tag, so first of all this expects some arguments here, so some attributes. So first of all it expects the initial values. What are the initial values of the form here? So we will be having two fields, double curly brackets. Inside this we will write here email to null and also password to also null. So accordingly, if you have more fields you can just initializing here. Apart from that, it will also have a on submit event. So whenever the form is submitted, we need to first of all pass the values attribute. So inside this all the values will be there. So email, password will be there, and the second argument will be the a function, which will be this function, that is set submitting. So basically this is responsible for when the form is submitted, so this function will execute. So this S is capital here, so this will be a arrow function. So after the parentheses you can see that you have to write arrow function here. So here we can just print out in a set timeout function. So we will have some delay of, let's suppose, a half a second, 500 milliseconds. So inside this we can just write here console log, and we can just write here logging the values, and we can just bind the variable. So when we inspect element we will be seeing the values here. So this is on submit guys. So after this we will be closing this tag here. You can see that this tag. So after this returns some props also. So basically this is a library, so it also passes some properties. So properties are known in React as props. So you can see that props. So it also passes some props. So inside curly brackets we will be passing some props. So let me just align this properly. So props, and this is arrow here. You need to write this arrow. So inside this another curly brackets we need to write. So inside this props I will be using destructuring way. So I will be writing const here, const variable I will declare. So inside this curly brackets I will write my variables. First is the values will hold all the values which are there inside the form. Touched These are all the constant variables of the library called as Formik. You can just read the documentation. So basically touched means that the value is touched or not. Errors hold all the errors variable, and is submitting is also a function. This tells that the form is submitted or not. Handle change, we will bind this method on the form here, so whenever the form is submitted, this method will be invoked. Similarly, we have the handle blur, so when the form is blur, we will be handling this function. And last but not least, we will have the handle submit function. So basically when the form is submitted, we need to handle this function. So now we will just be extracting it from the props. So we will be passing the props and we will be extracting this by using destructuring. That's it. Put a semicolon, and this also returns the view. So inside this you can just print anything. Let's suppose I printed hello world, and if I refresh it, you will see that it is printing out hello world here. So instead of hello world, we need a login form, so that we can just validate the stuff that we have passed in the prop. So let me just first of all align this, or we will be having a login form. So just declare a form tag here inside the return statement, form. So this will be a form tag. So let me assign an attribute of autocomplete to off, and after this also have the on submit, which will be equal to the handle submit that we have passed here. You can see that this will be the function handle submit. So this is provided by the library. So inside this we will be having a label. So label, we will be giving HTML for attribute. So this is for the email. So I will just write here email. After that we will be having the input type is equal to text, name will be email, and placeholder text, let me just give it as let's suppose email address, or enter your email, something like this. That's it. So you can see that this is our email field here, and let me just do the same thing for the password as well. So let me go further here, and after this label HTML for, this is for password, this is password here, and I will be having a input type text field, input type text, name will be this time password. So this time the text type attribute will be password because we are entering password here, and placeholder, let me give the placeholder as enter your password. That's it. So now if I refresh the application, guys, you will see that we will be having two fields. Let me refresh again here. So you will see that enter your email and enter your password. So we have these values here. So now we will be having a simple button, a on click attribute I will be passing here. So whenever the button is clicked, we need to be having the text here. First of all, the button type will be submit, button type is equal to submit, and we will be having the text as let's suppose login. That's it. You can see that our form is ready, guys, and let me also give a disabled attribute to it. So whenever we need to disable the button when the form is submitting, so we will be checking for this property, that is submitting. This is a property for the library. So library provides this property to check whether the form is submitting or not. So if the form is submitting, we will disable the button in that time period. So similarly, just attach this value attribute to also this we will be attaching the value which is passed in the values parameter, values.email. So whatever the value is present inside the email field, we will be binding it. And similarly, go to the password field also and attach this value, values.password. That's it. So now let me just align this code by using code prettier. So just a shortcut here, Control S. So you can see that our code is formatted here. First of all, we have a form. Inside this we have two input fields and we have a button. So at this juncture of time we need to add some CSS to our application to just make it beautiful. So we will go to the app.css index.css file. So I will write my styles here. So this is already, the styles are written here, so I will be writing the styles once again so that you can see. So first of all, I don't want anything to be pre-written. So first of all, I will be targeting the app class. So inside this I will be changing the font family to, let's suppose, sans serif, and after that I will target the heading. Text align I will change to center. I will now target the form tag. Max width I will give to as 500 pixel. Width I will change to 100%. Margin I will give as 0 auto. And let me change the label property, label comma input, and inside this we will be changing the display property to block, and I will be giving a width of 100%. So you will see that it is changing here side by side so that you can better understand. And after that we will be targeting the label. So inside this I will provide a bottom margin of 5 pixel, a height also of 22 pixel, and let me now target the input field. Margin bottom I will give a 20 pixel, padding 10 pixel, border radius I will give as 3 pixel, and a border which is 1 pixel solid, a hexadecimal color which is 777. So now I will be styling the error class. So whenever there is some kind of error, we need to have the error class attached to it. So input dash error. So we have the border color red. So this is error class. So there is also will be a additional, that is input feedback class, which will be there in order to display the error message. So for this I am targeting this input feedback class. So inside this we will write, first of all, change the color to RGB, red, green, blue, 235, 54, 54. This is a color. And secondly, margin from the top position I will give as -15 pixel. Font size I will change to 14 pixel, and margin from the bottom I will give as 20 pixel. And after that we will be now be targeting the button. Padding I will give to the button as 10 pixel, 15 pixel. Background color I will change to this color, that is RGB 7015, 153, 179. So this is a color. Text color of the button I will change to white, and let me also have a border around the button, 1 pixel solid, RGB. This is a color. 70, 153 again, this color, 179. And the background color I will change the button of this color, that is 250 millisecond. So after providing this, we will be attaching a hover class to the button. So just write the styles here. Cursor I will change the cursor position to pointer, and the background color I will change to white, and the color property I will change to RGB, red, green, blue, 70, 153, 179. That's it, guys. So now if I hover onto the button, you will see that. So the CSS styles are complete, guys. So you can see that our form is ready. So now we just need to write our validation rule, so which is there in the yup library. You can see that this is a yup library. So just right at the top, when we pass the props here, so inside this is HTML variable here, you can see that we just need to write inside it. So here we will define our validation. Define the validation. You can of course do the validation up yourself, but if you do with yourself, it will take some time. And this yup library is very easy, guys. You can just do the validation within seconds. So first of all, we need to just execute this variable here, validation schema, declare this variable. So inside this, a set of curly brackets we need to write, and inside this we will write yup dot object. This is a function, and we will be using the shape function. So inside this we will be writing curly brackets. So inside this we will define our properties. So the first property that we will define is the email property. So we will write here email colon. So first of all we need to define it. What is the property? It is a string or integer. We need to write it yup dot string. It is a string variable. So this is a function, guys. And after that we need to bind the rules. So basically this is email here. So this is the email. So email validation will be applied with this method here, and the second parameter will be required. So this property is required. You just cannot submit the form without entering this value. So this is a required function. So inside this you can just pass the error message that is required. That's it. So let me just see if it is working or not. No, it is not working. So we need to define it first of all. And the second is we need to put a comma here. So the first property is done, guys. And now we will be targeting the password. So password yup dot, this is also a string. So we will write again this term and followed by the validation. So it will be also be required. So here you can just provide a message that is required. And the second parameter will be here I can just change the message to no password provided, such that, so no password provided. This is a error message. And after that we will be providing this method, that is minimum method. So this is you can specify anything in this. I will be specifying 8. So you must be having 8 characters in your password. And the second argument is the error message. So password is too short and should be 8 characters long. Should be 8 characters long. So that's it. So after this we will be having another validation method, which is matches. So here in this matches method I will provide a regular expression for containing a number, for password for containing this is a regular expression. Just write this regular expression. Inside this we have a question mark is equal to dot star, this is square brackets 0 to 9, and after this we will be having a slash. So this is a regular expression. So comma followed by comma, you will be providing the error message. So we will just write here password should contain a number. That's it, guys. So just close this by providing a parentheses. So here we have just provided the validation rules here. You can see that, guys. So first of all we need the email. So email is required, so we have passed this, and second property is passwords. It is also required and it should have minimum characters of 8, so this is a minimum method. And lastly, we should be checking for the password that it contains a number or not. So for that we are using the matches function. Inside this we have passed a regular expression, and the second argument is the error message that you want to print. So after defining these rules, we need to go into our form here. We need to use these rules. So first of all, we will be going into the input field. So we have provided this submit property. So on submitting the form, this handle submit function will execute. So now going into the input field, we need to attach some more properties. First is the on change property. On change is equal to this change handle change method we will use here. So I will just pass here handle change, and similarly there is a on blur property. So I will be using handle blur for that. So these are the methods you can see that we are using, and I will be doing this for the password as well. So on change is handle change, and on blur is to handle blur. This is a method. Let me just align the code here. So now after this we need to display the error messages. So for that we will be just adding a class name attribute to it. So we will be attaching the classes. So first of all, inside the curly brackets we will be checking if errors are there, errors dot email. So if email error is there and also the email property is also touched, so we will be writing touched dot email. In that situation we need to execute this expression. We need to add a class which of error. We have provided this class in the index.css. You can see that we have styled this class here. Let me show you. This is input.error. So in that scenario our error class will be invoked and attached to this. First of all, the error will be there in the email, and also this touch.email is true, then only this error class will be added. And similarly we need to go into the password field and attach this. So after this we will write here class name, we will write here errors. So in this case error.password and touched.password, and I will attach the error class. That's it guys. So after this we will be now be writing the classes here. So first of all, go to the, just after this we need an expression again, JSX expression. So inside the curly brackets we will write here errors if any kind of error is there in email, and also the email field is touch.email is also true. Then in that case we will be displaying a message. So in a div which has a class of input feedback. So we have styled this class in the CSS. So in this I will be just be providing a message, that is whatever be the error. So I will be just writing errors.email. That's it. So you can see that. So in the index.css, let me just show you, we have styled this class also, that is input feedback. So we are just attaching these classes dynamically. So similar, I will be going to the password as well and writing this, that is error dot password and error touch dot password. And in that scenario we need to display a div which has a class of input feedback. Sorry, this will be class name, sorry. So here input feedback, and in this we will be writing errors dot password. That's it. So let me just align the code here. You can see that. Now also let me just change this to class name. Now let me just refresh the application. So it is saying that module parse invalid regular expression. Sorry, let me just see the regular expression. It is creating some problem here. Sorry, our bracket is missing. So that bracket is not missing. So let me just see what is the problem here. Let me just check, just give 2 minutes here. I will be checking the expression. So which is slash parentheses question mark is equal to dot star 0 to 9. Oh sorry, one additional is there here, so just delete this expression. So now let me just refresh the application. You can see that, guys, it is now working here. So now if I click the login button, you will see that it is presenting me the errors here. It is required and the password is no password provided. If I enter it dynamically, you can see that email must be a valid email. So let me just write @ symbol and email.com or gmail.com. So the error is gone, guys. So similarly, I can just provide a password 1 2 3 4 5 6. So it should be 8 characters long. So 8 characters is long. And also let me just show for the numbers also, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So password should contain a number, so we will write here. If I press the login button, if I inspect element, I will see a response which is coming here. You can see that, guys, login in and an object is passed here which contains the values, email, password, whatever be the details that we have passed here, these are there. So you can just use these details according to your application, whatever application that you are developing, you can just use these details. So this is a very simple way by which you can just validate your login form in React application by using these two dependencies, which is yup and Formik. So thanks very much, guys, for watching this video. If you want these videos to be come in the future also, please hit the like button, subscribe the channel by hitting the red subscribe button. Also tap the notification bell icon, and I will be seeing you in the next video. Until then, thank you very much.